We need to know that this information is safe.
You can trust her.
Can they really do the stuff they threatened?
The Council fights evil. The Slayer is the instrument by which we fight.
Am I going to be able to get through this?
She's not your bloody instrument, and you have no right to do any of this.
Tell me what kind of demon I'm fighting.
This isn't a demon.
An all-new Buffy.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Slade, the Buffyverse Revisited. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Jeremy J.
Yeah, I'm your other host, James.
And this week we will be, let's say we're going to gainer into season 5, episode 12, Checkpoint, clear reference to werewolves.
Gloria Gaynor. I will survive.
Oh, as long as I know how to.
I know how to love. I know. Oh, okay. Sorry. Again, you mentioned that Checkpoint is a clear reference to werewolves. Can I ask for your thought process on that?
No, you can't.
Especially now that we've watched the episode. Could you explain to me why you still feel it's about werewolves?
Well, there's like 7 werewolves in this episode.
There is not a single werewolf in this episode.
No?
No.
I must be thinking of a different episode. Okay.
Did you accidentally watch The Howling instead of the episode?
You know what? I did. What a dum-dum.
Oh, man.
Dumb. My bad.
All right, well, this week, folks, we'll be talking about The Howling.
The Howling from, what is it, 1987?
Oh, gosh, I don't know. Here, let me look it up real quick.
In the meantime, I'll entertain the folks with jokes about my nipples.
81.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize it was that early in the 80s.
The Howling is as old as I am.
Wow, you're a youngin'. I was already shooting bricks in faces by that time.
Wow. You're only 2 years older than me.
No, I was born in 78.
Oh, so you're 3 years older than me.
Well, it's probably more like 2 and a half-ish.
Yeah.
I want to suck your blood. Anyway, yeah. So James, I didn't even ask you last millennia, last episode. How are you? How you been? What's going on? What's new?
I'm all right. Nothing going on. Nothing new. You know, same old, same old. It's been 2 episodes now, and you haven't asked me about my new shirt, and I'm a little bit disappointed.
Daddy is a
state of mind.
State of mind. Okay. Well, see, all I could read is like Daddy, and I was like, "That's really odd shirt to wear."
Is it? Considering how often I say "Daddy"? Daddy.
Daddy. And where did you procure this shirt?
I got this at C2E2.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
I got another
a bigger, more in-depth story, but apparently not.
Nope. I got another shirt at C2E2 that the fans will probably see next week.
Oh, is that the one with the giant penis on it?
It is the one with the giant penis on it. Yep.
Okay. The dragon dildo penis.
The dragon dildo penis. Yes. Okay. Yes, that is the one. Anyway, how are you? What's new? What's exciting?
Well, I'm getting over a funky, I don't even know what it was, cold, some kind of sickness. You can probably hear it in my voice. Probably could hear it in last episode's voice, and I forgot to mention it, but so if I sound froggy or weird at any point, that's the reason. This thing's been hanging on for a little over a week now. So
yeah, I don't think anyone.
It's probably AIDS, but you know.
If I don't think anyone noticed, because if they're like me, they weren't paying attention.
True. No one ever listens to me. It's I'm assuming it's stage 11 cancer.
Stage 11 cancer.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
this could be my last episode. Who knows? No, but it's been really annoying. It's, it's one of those cough, upper respiratory, would you please fuck off and leave me alone already kind of things. Other than that, fine and dandy. Everything's the same. Nothing's changed. I am a certified loser.
Okay.
All right. With that out of the way,
half chubbed up or full chubbed up right now?
fully flaccid.
Oh, yikes!
Yeah. Well, when you don't feel good,
Does this help at all?
I'm just too sick, James. Sick. But I have noticed in my sickness, I was taking a shower earlier and I noticed that my nipples smelled like sauerkraut. Is that normal or?
I don't think that is normal.
No? Okay. I'll
not unless
make an appointment to get seen.
Not unless you've been rubbing sauerkraut on your nipples. Have you been rubbing sauerkraut on your nipples?
No, but when I squeeze them, mayonnaise comes out.
I don't think. Okay, so 2 points here. One, I don't think anything should be coming out of your nipples when you squeeze them.
Okay.
Two, and in respect to one, that definitely should not be mayonnaise.
Okay. Well, then, do you agree? Should I go be seen?
I think you need to be seen by someone. Yes.
All right. I will. Yeah. I see a local shaman / witch doctor.
Okay, but in the meantime, I've got a pastrami on rye. Could you maybe?
Yeah, it's real. It's like craft level mayonnaise.
I use Kewpie mayo, so Japanese mayonnaise.
Oh, another one of those weird gay things you do. I mean, really unique, cool culinary differences. That's what I meant. That's what I meant to say.
I know. I knew it's what you meant to say.
I
knew it.
But yeah.
So
anyway,
you should definitely go get that looked into. I don't think that's normal.
Okay, fair enough. Well,
and if I'm wrong, if I'm wrong and it is normal, then I want to know who I need to talk to about why my nipples don't squirt anything
or smell like sauerkraut.
Or, well, I really don't want them to smell like sauerkraut, but if they could, if I could just, and a little.
What would be nice if I could get like ketchup and mayo, right? Just be like hamburger,
right?
But so while I am suffering from this affliction, why don't I nipple squeeze some mayonnaise out? You stir it in. Give us
and we make some dates and deets salad.
There you go. How about that? Does that work?
Wow. As previously stated, we will be gainering into the 12th episode of the 5th season of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the 90th episode of the series overall.
And that puts us, this episode will put us one over halfway through season 5.
It does.
And just for all the people who can't count.
Checkpoint. This episode was written by Douglas Petrie and Jane Espenson and directed by Jack Mark. Our original air date is January 23rd, 2001 on the WB network. Our Nielsen rating for this episode, 3.1, ranking it 87 out of the 135 primetime shows airing across network television that week, and number 3 out of the 17 primetime shows airing on the WB that week. Our regular cast, as always, includes Sarah Michelle Gellar as Buffy, Nicholas Brendan as Xander, Allison Hannigan as Willow, Emma Caulfield as Anya, Michelle Trachtenberg as Dawn, James Marsters as Spike, and Anthony Stewart Head as Giles. Our guest stars this week include Claire Kramer as Glory, Charlie Weber as Ben, Cynthia Lamontage as Lydia, Oliver Murhead as Philip, Chris Iyer as Nigel, Kevin Wiseman as Dreg, Troy D. Blundell as Jinx, Amber Benson as Tara, Harris Yulin as Quentin Travers, Christine Sutherland as Joyce Summers, Wesley Mask as Professor Roberts, and Justin Gorance as Orlando. Whew.
Orlando Bloom.
Sure. Peter Huseman is the mailman. Jack Thomas is council member number 4. John O'Leary is council member number 5. And Eric Betts as assassin, which we are definitely going to fucking talk about this fucking assassin in this fucking episode.
Yes.
And Jessica Biscardi as council member number 6. Whoo! My synopsis.
Really quick here, James. When you were listing off the director earlier, you said his name was Jack Mark.
Did I? No, I didn't. I said it was a Nick Mark.
Go back and listen to the tape. You 100% said Jack Mark. And I was like, I think you mean Nick Mark there, buddy.
I will listen to the tape.
And I think you'll apologize to me.
Probably not.
Yeah, you will.
Okay, well, I'll listen to it before we record the next episode. And if there is an apology to be issued, I will issue it publicly.
I will demand it.
Okay. My synopsis this week reads, while the Watchers Council threatens to deport Giles if Buffy fails an arduous test of her slaying skills, they also dangle critical information about Glory.
Mine reads, the Watcher Council travels to Sunnydale to review Buffy's skills as a slayer. Meanwhile, that's never a good sign when there's a meanwhile, Glory puts her snatch... Wow. That... Okay. That is not what I meant. Let's try that again. Meanwhile, Glory puts her search for the key into high gear. Wow. I don't even know. Like, obviously, I say much worse shit than that per episode, but when that's not what you even mean to say, it's a little disconcerting.
I feel like it was a Freudian slip in regards to how you feel about Claire Kramer.
I do love me some Claire Kramer, let me tell you. I think from now on, I'm just going to refer to her as Glory Snatch.
Oh, man. So we open on the Summers home, and they're discussing
Glory's Snatch.
They're discussing Glory's Snatch, and Buffy's like, listen, I'm the only one that's faced her. It definitely smelled like fish.
Yeah, and you know what, guys? I like seafood. Just saying.
No, the Scoobies are gathered at the Summers home, and they are discussing the imminent arrival of the Watchers Council there in Sunnydale, and Buffy... understandably, is not thrilled about this as she recounts her previous encounters with the council, both of which put her life in great peril, and laments that she wishes they would just give her the information without having to come to Sunnydale. And
I wish they would just give me the information without having to. Yeah. Quentin Travers coming. He's heading to Sunnydale to just brick on fucking Ash's face. Giles.
And Giles is like, ah.
Giles is like, no. It's the only way we can get the information.
This scene is kind of funny because there's a funny little bit with Tara, and she's like, well, why would we be worried about the Watchers Council coming here? Aren't they just a bunch of Gileses?
Yeah. And they're all like, no, they're actually very British.
Yeah. So then we cut to Glory at her apartment thing that she lives in, and she's clearly going through it. She's not doing well. Drag and another minion come into her room, and they've got a mailman with them, and they pick Glory up and
they're like, now deliver the fucking mail!
Deliver the fucking mail!
And they just start fucking like kicking him and like curb stomping him, and they're like, why is the fucking mail always late? Why does it come different times every day? And
they're like, give us the mail, give us Glorificus's mail, and he's like, I don't have any mail for this address.
Give us the
mail. So they drag the mailman over, and he's hysterical, of course, because these scabby little fuckers. I'd probably be hysterical too if I got snatched up by these
they clearly
scabby
have
motherfuckers in monk robes, and they help her, do the finger in the head thing that she does, and she drains his sanity away, and she pops up all zestfully clean and ready to go, and of course he's the mailman wanders away, and then one of the minions tells her that she's got less time now to find and use the key, and
don't use the key on her snatch.
And she's clearly not worried, and she says that Buffy's basically the only thing between her and the key, and if that's the case, she doesn't need very much time at all. And wolf howl, roll credits. That's our cold open.
Yep, and it's also the end of the episode, which was weird. It's like
it was really weird.
Credits immediately followed by the closing credits, and it was like,
yeah, huh? That's weird. So, Jeremy, on a scale of 1 to 5, how many? No.
So Quentin Travers and a team of goofballs arrive at the magic box. And I do mean a team of goofballs. I'm thinking if this is the Watchers Council, no wonder they are so inept. Because these people, all of them, are goobers. They basically make all the customers in the magic box fuck off, and they tell them they're closed. And I'm like, what? But okay, fine, we'll just go with it. So everybody has to leave, and they close the magic shop down, and they announce that the magic shop will be closed for the duration of their stay. And they basically inform them that they are going to be conducting extensive review of Buffy's, her methods, her skills, her abilities, how good she is. They're going to check her deodorant, her toothpaste. They're going to do all this shit because they have the required information, but they are not going to hand it over unless she proves to them that I don't know what they don't really, it's like she has to prove what? That she's better than you? Like, that's pretty simple, it just seems silly to me because I'm like, they already know she's the like, she's better than any human. So you got a better idea? what are you guys gonna do? Keep it and go handle Glory yourselves? You fucking, this is such a shit plan from Jump Street.
Yeah, like their whole thing is like they want her to prove that she can handle this information about Glory. And it's like, well, what other fucking choice do you have? Are you gonna go break Faith out of jail to fight Glory? Like, come on.
Well, and it's like, dude, do you guys not know that just last season she handled Adam?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I
Like,
mean,
come on, guys.
He had the Baraka arm from fucking Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Come on.
Right.
Yeah, so that's their big plan.
And a Pentium 3 Windows XP in his fucking noggin.
Oh no, this was like Windows 98 SE.
Windows 98?
Yeah, at least
wow.
It was second edition. But no service packs. So
no service packs.
That's why he crumbled in the end. She put the Win Nuke hack on him, and that was all she wrote for Adam. And remember, he had that the titty floppy drive.
The titty floppy drive, right?
Yeah, she put a Trojan on a floppy disk and stuck it in mid fight, and
right. Yeah,
that was it. That was it.
That was it. That's a wrap on Adam.
Yep. So we cut to Buffy in history class, and oh boy, do I want to I just want to chew this scene up and just jizz it out. I don't think that works, but anyway. So
that's not how jizz works.
Yeah, I don't think so either. It'd be kind of cool if it was, though. Whatever you ate, you just jizzed out. Like hot sauce. Okay. So I think I'll bet everyone just stopped, like, who were just listening to the podcast were like, oh shit, okay, I think the podcast broke. So she's listening to this extremely douchey. Oh, and by the way, they clearly only built one classroom set in season 4 because this is just 100% Professor Walsh's classroom from season 4 now being reused in season 5. So yeah, this douchebag teacher is talking about Rasputin and how he was considered nearly impossible to kill and all this jazz. And Buffy basically says, well, why don't we look at it from a different angle? They tried to shoot him, poison him, all this stuff, and couldn't seem to finish him off. And the teacher just rips into her like, how fucking dare you have an opinion or any type of independent thought in my class, you piece of fucking shit. What do you think this is? A school of learning? Huh? What? I'm just blown away by this because I'm like, dude, if I ever had gone and had a teacher that was, I'd be like, are you fucking off your meds? Like, we're in college. That's what we're supposed to be doing. It's like she's literally doing what she's supposed to be doing, and he's having a shit fit about it.
Right.
So I don't understand, but
listen, I'm not a conspiracy theorist by any stretch of the imagination, but Buffy's not wrong here.
Yeah.
Either. Like, there's reported sightings of Rasputin up until the 1930s.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
and he's like, fuck you, bitch. You're wrong.
Right.
You sit the fuck. Right. I mean, he's just a complete piece of shit and just berates the shit out of her. And she just sits down, and I'm like, dude, Buffy, kick him in the fucking throat, like break his trachea and kill him in front of the class.
Right.
So they understand that you are in charge.
Right. So side quest here. Rasputin. As Buffy points out here, there's reports that they poisoned him and they beat him and they shot him and he just wouldn't die until, as the professor points out, he was finally rolled up in a carpet and drowned, yada, yada. And then Buffy points out that there were sightings of him as late as 1930s. So my question is, Rasputin, vampire or immortal?
Immortal.
Immortal. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And someone finally took his head in the 30s.
Yes, Duncan MacLeod. Yeah.
Of the Clan MacLeod.
He's like, are you Sputy?
Yeah.
And he's like,
are you Sputy?
Maybe.
Right. And Rasputin was like, maybe I am not. And then Duncan was
Russia. That's all I could say.
Right. And then Duncan was like, well, in that case, I'm Duncan MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod.
And I've come for your head.
Right.
And he's like, I do not give head anymore.
And
Mac is like, don't you?
And once you hear those words, I'm Duncan MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod.
It's your ass.
It's over for you.
It's your ass, Mr. Postman.
Anyway, yes, this teacher was just shitting all over Buffy being any sort of inquisitive free thinker whatsoever.
Which is what you're supposed to be doing in college, but
right.
It's not like she's like being a bitch and like interrupting every other thing he says and being like, "Oh, that's fucking dumb, Mr. Know-it-all teacher." Like it's just so annoying, this episode, this scene. So then that night she's taking out her frustrations on some vampires, which I find to be fairly unfair.
Yeah, well, the vampires didn't do anything to deserve that.
Yeah, and they're all like, one of them stops at one point and he's like, "Who the fuck are you talking to?" She's like narrating her day, and he's like, "Who are you talking to?" And anyway, she stakes him, and I'm sorry. Spike comes flying in out of nowhere and tackles the vampire and then stakes him. And here we go again. Buffy being a total fucking bitch to Spike. She's like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" And he's like, just helping." And she just shits all over him again. And so then every time Spike kind of gets his feelings hurt and gets defensive, he kind of becomes a dick. And so he does, and he's like, "Well, it's not my fault you can't keep a man, bitch." And then he runs away. And he's like, as he's running away.
Pretty much.
Damn it. He got me again.
And then she's like, "That's just Spike.
That's just Spike."
Okay.
So
honestly, though, like, listen, I know you're a Spike fan, yada yada. Like, but why is this motherfucker still alive?
You want to know the answer to that, honestly?
I mean, I like the behind the reason scenes. Like, I know, like he was too popular to kill off.
Well, it's even more simple than that, because David Boreanaz's got his own show, and they needed another vampire male in her life. And that's what and you put that with the fact that he was super popular and everybody liked him. They're like, "Well, okay, we're going to do that now."
Yeah. Right. I guess this is what we're doing.
Yep. That's what it boils down to. It's not rocket science, James. Jesus, use your fucking head.
But I mean, in the context of the show, in the reality of the show, why is this motherfucker still alive?
Yeah, because any other vamp he was just vamp of the week when he started, and he would have been staked in the episode, and that would have been that.
Right, and at this point, even with his chip, to an extent, he has caused so much chaos and turmoil and bullshit for Buffy and the rest of in the context of this world, there's no logical reason why she hasn't put a stake through this motherfucker's heart yet.
Oh, we're going to find out in this episode, which we're going to talk about. I don't want to jump ahead yet, but it just annoys me that like this whole season she's treated him like absolute fucking shit, which okay, fine. If that's how you know, I'm not saying I'm against that. I'm saying the way she's treated him to what she's about to do in this episode,
Right.
I'm like, oh, so now,
Right.
okay.
Right.
And that becomes a running situation. Yeah.
Right.
And it's just like, this is so fucking weird. Anyway, so we, oh God, here we go. This fucking scene. Just this whole concept. We cut back to the magic shop, and Quentin's informing Buffy and Giles that if she doesn't pass this stringent review process, that the Watchers are going to shut down the magic shop permanently, deport Giles, and steal Buffy's lunch money. And I'm just like, wait a minute, wait. I don't want to like dig super deep into this, but when have the fucking Watchers ever been shown to be anything but fucking inept boobs? Like now all of a sudden they're able to deport Giles, shut down the magic box, all this bullshit.
Right.
It just doesn't work for me.
Right.
You know? I'm like,
Yeah,
no, I don't feel that.
If they had stuck to before they actually introduced like Quentin Travers, if they had stuck to the idea, because like I said in last week's episode, in the early seasons of Buffy, the council was taken seriously. Like, well, because they were off screen.
Yeah,
because they were off screen.
Off screen, yeah.
When they were off screen?
When they were off screen, they were talking very seriously.
And you know, it wasn't until, and honestly, even when Quentin Travers came to do that test on Buffy when she was 18, there was an element of, you know, they didn't come off as like incapable or goofballs. It really was.
They kind of did.
See, to me, it wasn't until like they sent Wesley, where then like the council kind of became a joke, because then every council person we saw after that was pretty much a joke. You know, those 3 assassins or whatever they were that they sent, you know, to you know, get Buffy or get Faith and yada yada. So I think if they had just kept playing the council up as a serious entity, like they did in the beginning, this would have more weight to it. Yeah,
100%. But I'm just saying they haven't. So
right.
At this point in the game, halfway through season 5, the Watchers Council to me is just a laughable fucking joke. But now all of a sudden the writers want us to say, oh no, clutch my pearls. The Watchers are Srizzle Bizzle, and they're gonna deport fucking Giles, who are you, fucking MAGA? Like, no.
Right.
And they're gonna close down the magic shop? No, don't think so. But they're like, oh yes, because Buffy asks Giles, can they really do all this? And oh yes, they're so fucking powerful. And I'm like, then how did Buffy just tell them to fuck off, and you fucking told them to fuck off, and they fucked off? You know what I mean?
Right.
But now all of a sudden, we mean business, young lady. And like when the guy in the previous scene puts the briefcase in front of Travers and opens it, and they pull up the big file of all the glory information. Like, the Buffy we know in season 5 would have fucking roundhouse kicked Travers in the face, picked up the file and been like, "Thanks, bitch. Now fuck back off to England."
Right. Now fuck all the way out of here.
And they would have. And but
Right.
now all of a sudden she's this scared little rabbit. And I'm like, bullshit, because the Buffy we see later in this episode is and the Watchers Council we see later in this episode is the real situation.
Right.
Because she would have grabbed Travers by the trachea and been like, "Here's the way shit's gonna go, you little pimple fucking fag," and then slapped him around and or just made some threats and been like, "Listen, I am the Buster. This is not happening. I will fuck you all the way off, all the way back to fucking England." You know what I'm saying? Like, but
yeah, no, I agree.
I don't know. For like Act 2 and Act 3 of this episode, we have to play this game of, oh, everybody's scared of the Watchers Council and they're a real threat, and oh my, what's going to happen next? Well, what happens next is we cut to various members, goofballs, as I've said, members of the council, interviewing various members of her inner circle, her friends, Buffy, or I'm sorry, Willow, Tara, and yada yada. And at one point they're interviewing Spike. And I'm like, first of all, how would they even know about Spike? How would they even know where Spike's at? Why would they want to interview with the vampire? What? No, but it's just so dumb. I'm sorry, it just is. Needless to say, I hate this episode, James, but and Spike basically just talks about how she's slipping, can't keep a man, and all this. I'm like, what is happening? What are we doing?
And not only that, but like the female Watcher is like flirting with him.
Oh yeah, she's got a female Woodrow because she's like, well, why didn't you just kill her? You've killed Slayers before. And he's like, oh, you heard of me, huh? And she's like, I did my thesis on you. And then she just creams right there. And he's like, oh yeah. And it's just so fucking dumb. I'm like, your thesis? Where did you go? The International School of Vampires? Like, you did a thesis on a vampire.
Right.
Yeah.
So like now, where are we supposed to believe that like the Watchers Council has like
their own?
Are they fucking Hogwarts?
Exactly. Like they have their own Cambridge for. It's like
right.
Okay. Right.
And like, listen, some of it I can get past. Like,
yeah.
Like the fact that they would know about Spike. Like I can move past that.
Yeah.
Like, I can.
Yeah. I was just bringing that up as a way of being like, wait, what?
Right. Like. I can accept the canon that even though Buffy told them to fuck all the way off, they've still been keeping tabs on her.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I'll buy that.
Yeah. But I don't buy that they come in and all of a sudden start throwing their weight around and she and Giles are both quaking in their boots,
Right.
That's what I have the problem with. Anyway, everybody's, of course, telling them how great Buffy is, and of course, it's all going poorly. Then we cut to the training room, and they've blindfolded Buffy, and oh, this scene too. They want her to show how good she is, and they're gonna say Japanese kata moves, and this guy's got a fucking axe, and Travers is going to tell her in Japanese what's coming, therefore she'll know what to do, but she doesn't know Japanese, and it's just so dumb. Like at one point Travers is like, I thought you trained her, and fucking Giles is like, well, A, I trained her to win, and B, why would I teach her Japanese shit? This is stupid. What is this, American Ninja? Like, this is dumb. None of this makes any sense. What what Japanese related have we ever had with the Slayer organization? Whatever. He's fucking her up for a while, and then she's like, I'm going to do this my way. And then she fucks him up and throws an axe and hits a thing and knocks a guy over and almost kills a dude. And so clearly she's failed this vastly important test. Then Buffy goes home after this rotten day, and who's sitting in her living room? Tell us all about it, James.
Glory in basically she's giving her big evil monologue speech to Buffy, and Dawn comes in, and
I left it
Glory
for you, man. I said, who's sitting in Buffy's living room? And you were supposed to say Glory Snatch.
No, I won't say that. That's
okay.
You can say that. That's your thing.
You can't say the word snatch. What the fuck? That was a good movie, by the way. That was a really good movie.
Snatch was a good movie.
Yeah.
But we all know you're more interested in seeing Glory's Snatch, so.
Well, glory, glory,
glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah.
Snatch, hallelujah. What? Sorry.
So then Dawn comes in, and Buffy's like eyes Dawn, and Glory, presumably because of how Buffy reacts, realizes that Dawn is there, calls Dawn over, and is all like, Dawn, your sister stole my key. I bet you know where it is. Da 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 da. And then Buffy's like, Dawn doesn't know anything, yada yada, and Dawn gets all angsty 14-year-old and is like, I know some stuff, and she emo 14-year-old stomps her way out of the room, and
yeah.
And then Glory tells Buffy that she'll kill everyone she cares about and make her watch her do it, and then she leaves. And then Buffy, and this is what you were talking about earlier.
Yep.
Buffy proceeds to take Dawn and Joyce to Spike and demand that he protect them.
And she says, he's like, why me? And she's like, you're the only one strong enough to protect him. And I'm like, is he though? Is he? I don't know. I really don't know about that. But let's just say he is. You treat him like a walking piece of fecal matter 24/7. But now all of a sudden that you need his help, he's supposed to just, hop to it and do your bidding.
Right.
So yeah, I fucking hate this.
So he agrees, and she leaves, and it doesn't take long before Joyce and Spike are bonding over their love of the soap opera Passions and sit down to watch it together. Meanwhile, Dawn's just got this like utterly disturbed look on her face that Joyce and Spike are like so chummy.
And since it's 2001, she can't just break out her Nintendo Switch and play.
Right. She could have broken out her Game Boy though. Her Game Boy Color.
Yeah. True.
Her Atari Lynx.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Her what was Sega's handheld? Her
the Game Gear.
Game Gear, yeah, her Game Gear.
Or she could have busted out what I had in elementary school, which was the Nintendo Super Mario Brothers watch.
And
you could play like a really shitty, crappy version of Mario Brothers on it.
She could have broken out a Tiger Electronics.
Okay,
handheld.
There you go. Yep. And been like, do 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 do
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. As much as we've ragged on Joyce over the years, I don't know that we've ever taken a moment to appreciate the relationship between her and Spike. The few times that we've seen them together over the years.
Okay.
Like, it's just a funny little, like, side relationship, for lack of a better term. Like, anytime you see them together, like, they're like just having normal conversations with each other and, like, kind of bonding over things.
Well, I mean, she is his side piece, so they do have history.
Okay, yeah, sure.
But
sure.
yeah, it's. Should we do a montage and post it on Facebook of all their interactions?
Sure, we could.
Okay, you do that.
Sure. I'll get right on that.
I was going to ask though, like, why? Oh, she does have a good line. How did she say that? I really like what you haven't done with the place.
yeah.
I thought that was a pretty good line. I was like,
right.
Oh, finally they gave Joyce a decent line to throw out there. But I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, I just, like, there's not like an abundance of scenes of them together, but, like,
There
I'm
are
thinking
several,
back to,
yeah, even going all the way back to his first episode.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah. So then we cut to Buffy, and she's on her way back to the Magic Box to meet the council for their final comprehensive review of fuck all.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, these fucking, like, Knights of the fucking Knights Templar Crusader, not even Knights of the Round Table, but, like, these
They're
fucking
very poorly cosplaying nerds. Yeah,
like these Templar Knights motherfuckers.
They're like
show up.
They're like cosplaying nerds that bought all their shit from Temu.
Right. She fucking attack her, and of course she fucking takes them all out, and she's got one on the ground, and she's like, okay, let's find out who or what you are, and she pulls off his mask, or and
it's leather mask with zippered mouth,
his gimp mask, yes. And she's like, zoinks, it's old man Smithers. And he's like, and I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you meddling kids. No.
And she's like, that's Buffy.
That's just Buffy. Womp, 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 womp.
And then he's actually trying to cut his own throat. Yeah.
Right, he's trying to cut with a butter knife, and you're like, you're so fucking incompetent. Like, what?
Very incompetent.
So yeah, of course she kicks all their head, and it's just a regular dude under there, and she's like
this drawn
sigil,
on with Sharpie sigil on his forehead. Yeah.
And he's like,
he spills the total fucking she asked him like one question, and he's like, fine, I'll tell you everything.
Right, and so apparently they're the Knights of Byzantium, and they've been charged with destroying the key. So imagine, audience, if you will, and Jeremy, I hope you've seen these movies so you'll understand. Imagine a more inept version of Oded Farr's character and organization from the Brendan Fraser Mummy movies.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like but that's who these guys. But worse, right? Because they were at least cool. Like,
yeah, they were cool. This is like the cosplayers version of that.
Right. And basically the gist of it is they've been around for ages untold, and they are charged with not allowing the beast, Glory, to use the key.
And therefore they want to destroy the key. and she's their enemy because she protects the key. How do they know this? Plot armor.
Here's the thing, and I'm gonna spoil this because this irritates the fuck out of me. They introduce this organization, these Knights of Byzantium, who are seemingly poised to be uber important, and we do not hear from them again until the third to last episode of the fucking season.
Yeah. And actually,
then,
I didn't think we heard from them again till the last episode, but yeah, you're right.
Nope. They show up again in episode
19.
Episode 20.
Okay.
So 2 episodes before the final.
Okay.
They show up again in episode 20. And by the end of that episode, we're done with them again. They do not show up for the final 2 episodes.
Yeah. The Knights of Byzantium have been thoroughly dealt with. Now, and he says this funny thing to her. He says, "You've defeated us this time," but I'm just paraphrasing here. I don't remember exactly how he says it, but he's like, "But if it takes 10 men, we'll send 10. If it takes 100, we'll send 100. If it takes 1,000, we'll send 1,000 until we have destroyed you and the key." And I'm like, so you started with 3?
Right.
So your first thought was, it'll probably only take 3 or 4 of us.
Right.
Damn it. It didn't. Next time we'll do 6. It's like,
right.
Okay.
But my bigger issue with that is that they introduce this uber important organization and they do nothing with them.
It's not important.
Nothing.
Yeah.
It's not important at all. Much like something else that they're going to reveal in the final episodes that they could have played with it so much throughout the season, and then they don't even talk about it or why it is until like the last 2 episodes of the season. Yep. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about yet.
I think I do, but
we'll talk about it when we're done recording to see if we're on the same page. But anyway, so yeah, so she ends up, he gives his little speech like Jeremy said, and she's all like, "Bring it," and she steals his fucking sword. Why?
And she literally says, when she takes the hood off of him at the big, she says, "Who are you? What do you want?" And he's like, "Well, you know what? I'm going to tell you everything."
Right.
And for no reason.
Right.
I don't know. Bugs me.
So
she does steal his sweet side piece.
His
Schwartz.
Right. So then we cut back to Buffy showing up at the magic box, and she basically, we'll sum this up real quick. She basically tells the Watchers Council that they're little shrimp limp dick motherfuckers who have absolutely no power without her, and that's why they're making her do all these fucking tests, and she's done with it, and they need her to give their jobs any kind of purpose and make their lives worthwhile. And she's going to, and basically they're going to accept the fact that she works with all of these normies, that are her friends, and they're going to reinstate Giles at full pay plus back pay. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing they can fucking do about it, and give me the fucking information about Glory. And Quentin, being the shrimp limp dick sniveling ass that he truly is, instantly caves to all of her demands.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "All right, so now tell me what kind of demon Glory is." And Quentin's like, "Oh, she's not a demon. She's a fucking god." End scene. Roll credits. We're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scene roll 54 minutes. That's how long it
54.
took us to break this piece of shit down.
I will say it was a quick episode when I watched it.
Well, both
It was.
episodes that we covered today were fast.
Both.
But
What do you mean both episodes? What are you talking about?
Who's both? I don't even know what day.
Both.
You know.
What? What do we? What? Huh? What? Huh? You smell toast?
I smell colors.
Jeremy,
Yes,
would you like to play everyone's favorite game, Body Count?
Ooh. That's a tough one because I don't know if did she kill any of those Byzantium dudes?
Nah.
Oh, I don't know. I'm just gonna say it was 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do you appreciate? 6.
1. Just the vampire staked by Spike.
Okay, not even close.
Our music this week, just Thomas Wanker with our original score.
Thomas Richard.
Jeremy.
Wanker.
Thomas Dicky Wanker. Jeremy, would you like to tell me and our lovely audience, on our scale of 1 to 5, how many watchers do you give this episode?
Can we give zeros?
Sure, if you want to.
It's a 0. It's a total nothing burger to me. It really is. There's nothing in this episode that's even remotely important to the overall arc of this season. The only thing that's discovered is that Glory's not a demon; she's a god. But we, as the audience, already knew that. So, and there's about 638 trillion other ways that Buffy can find this out later on. And I'm not even sure that, in the grand scheme of things, them knowing that she's not a demon and is instead some type of a god, that even matters. Like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That doesn't really even matter.
yeah.
So it's just a big nothing burger episode. Like, the reason I give it a 0, I'm not saying that it's worse than some episodes I've given a 1 to, but all of those episodes had at least some little chunk in there that kind of mattered as far as, oh, well, I'm giving it a 1 because it did move this little, thread forward some. This episode did none of that. It was a completely useless episode that did not need to exist. The Watchers thing was stupid. It lasted for like 20 minutes before Buffy came to her senses and was like, wait a minute. Fuck you guys. Wait a minute. Sorry, I forgot you guys were the Watchers Council. Lol, no one cares about
Right.
you. Fuck all the way back off.
Right.
And so that was it. The whole episode was just full of useless, time-wasting horse shit. And the only cool thing in the whole episode was when one of Glory's fucking minions goes and talks to Ben in the hospital and tries to force him to tell him so he can tell Glory where Buffy lives. Like, Ben fucking beats the shit out of that minion. And when it goes back to Glory, it's fucking eye is swollen shut. It's just fucking mangled. And I was like, damn, Ben ain't fucking around, is he? But yeah, it's a useless episode. If this episode does, and we've talked about how pointless and a waste of time the Byzantiums are, the Knights of Byzantium, like, so that's not even a thing like, oh, well, we did get introduced to the Knights of Byzantium in this episode. Who cares? They're a popcorn fart. They don't matter.
Right.
They don't matter at all in this whole thing. So
Nope. They don't show up again until episode 20. We're on episode 12.
Yeah.
They don't show up again for 6 more or 8 more episodes.
Yeah. And when they do, it's just a queef, and then they walk back off screen.
Right. It's literally for that episode, and then they don't play any sort of role after that.
Oh. So, again, if this episode does not exist, like if you're watching season 5 and the DVD is scratched up and it won't play this episode, Won't affect your watch through at all.
Right.
It's completely unneeded. So, we've talked about filler episodes, and sometimes we get it. Every show's got to have filler episodes. But this one's just fucking shit and stupid and pointless. So, yeah.
And pointless and stupid.
And pointless and stupid. So, it's a big fat nothing burger. James.
Yes, sir.
Tell me and our listeners how right I am and how you totally agree with everything I just said on a scale of 1 to I'm awesome.
1. I'm not going to give it a 0 because I think didn't I give Into the Woods a 0? I don't remember. Did I give it a 0 or a 1?
Well, you bumped it to a 1 because you said, "Oh, there was something that occurred," and you were like, "Well, that such and such did happen in this episode, so I'm going to give it a 1." But you bumped it to a 1.
Okay, then I'm going to give this a 2 because it's not worse than Into the Woods.
No, it's not worse. It's just completely fucking pointless.
Yeah. So I'm going to give it. I'm not going to give it a 0. I'll stick with 1. Because it's not worse than Into the Woods. Into the Woods is just it is awful.
It's diarrhea.
Because it's just, again, I hate to keep dwelling on Into the Woods, but it's a fucking masterclass in gaslighting.
Yeah.
And I can't fucking stand it. But anyway, but this episode, I agree with everything you said. This episode is useless. This episode is pointless. There's no reason to reintroduce the Watchers Council whatsoever. There's no reason for Giles to be a Watcher again at no reason whatsoever. The Knights of Byzantium are a fucking piss drop in a fucking ocean of uselessness. It's like, yeah, the whole episode is just pointless. It's nothing. The only thing we get from this episode is that Glory's a god, which Buffy could have found out in any number of ways.
Yeah.
Any number of ways.
Doesn't really even fucking matter.
Right.
It's not like it's like, oh, she's a god. Oh, well, this changes everything. No, it doesn't. It doesn't really change anything at all.
Right. And without giving spoilers, and I say that because I'm not 100% sure on this all these years later, since the last time I watched the show. The fact that the Watchers Council has reemerged, or even that Giles is technically a on the payroll Watcher again, has no effect on anything whatsoever between now and the end of the fucking show.
Nope.
To the best of my recollection. Maybe I'm wrong about that, and I'll rediscover it.
I think he makes contact with them a few times here and there for some info on something or whatever, but it's not vital. It's not like, woo, boy, if we hadn't gotten Giles back into with the Watchers, this, woo,
Right. So yeah, this episode, it's pointless. It's useless. Listen, I've said this a couple times already. And I said it to I was watching this episode with someone, and I think it was this episode that made me say to them, and I've said it again a couple times on the podcast here. Everyone shits on season 4 and season 4 is the worst episode of Buffy and yada yada yada. At this point, 12 episodes in, I stand by what I've said a couple times up to this point. I enjoyed season 4 more than I'm enjoying this season so far.
See, I disagree simply because Glory versus Adam, not even a competition. And at the end of the day, not even close. So
But just take the big bad aspect out of it. And in my opinion, season 4 had more good quality episodes in it overall than season 5 does.
Big bad for me, it's not enough because I hated the initiative, the whole idea of the initiative. I hated Walsh. I hated everything about season 4. And I'm not saying season 5 is a fucking Emmy fucking riddled season, but it's just, to me, it's markedly better. There are shit episodes though, like this one and Into the Woods.
Well, you're wrong, and it's okay to be wrong.
Yeah.
I would have to go back, but I would be willing to bet that at the 12 episode in point of season 4, I had given more higher scoring to episodes than I have so far in season 5.
Yeah, that's because you were wrong, but it's okay to be wrong. Yeah, you can't rehab the Watchers at this point. They ruined the Watchers, and once you do that on a show, you can't just fucking rehab it. You can't. I mean, you can rehab it, but it's a long,
right,
painstaking process. You can't just bring them back and be like, "Oh yeah, the badasses are back." It's like, no, you ruined them. You just
right.
Stop.
Right. And listen, like we make comparisons to Highlander a lot. Okay.
Well, I mean, you have to compare everything to the greatest thing that's ever been, placed on television.
Highlander also has an organization called the Watchers.
Indeed.
And pretty much from the time the Watchers were introduced on that show, there was a significant portion of them that were bad. They were not good guys.
Yeah.
But the show, as it went on, never strayed away from that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They never, at no point were they ever like, well, we got rid of those bad faction of Watchers, and it's a completely rehabilitated organization now, and yada yada. Like, they never shied away from the fact that it was what it was. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying.
But also, they never like humiliated the Watchers organization in Highlander.
True.
Or showed them to be just absolutely laughably inept. But then turn around in another episode and want you to be intimidated by them or impressed by them or whatever. They were just, the Watchers in the Buffyverse at this point in the game are just useless.
Time to play the game.
And they need to just leave them the fuck out of everything because there's really no point.
Yeah. Agreed.
All right. Well, everybody, sorry about the short episode, but quite frankly, this episode sucked ass. So, thanks for joining us. Regardless, you don't
have to drag it out, dude. Sometimes a short episode is fine. Not everyone wants to sit through an hour and 40 minutes.
I mean, who cares at the end of the day? Go to BuffyRevisited.com. You'll get links to all of our shizzle nizzle. You'll get our email link, which is BuffyRevisited@gmail.com. You'll get links to all of our stuff, including the YouTube link where you can watch this very episode at this very moment.
Shut your fucking mouth.
And you can masturbate to it.
I wouldn't, but
wow.
I'm sure other people have and are.
What? Okay,
well, wait a minute. Listen, strictly for research purposes, when you do that, who are you focusing on?
Myself. and
I somehow feel
the right side of my earphones.
Somehow that makes me feel better about the situation.
Yeah. And I usually complete within 30 seconds.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
That's a one.
You are very fond of yourself.
I am. I'm like, ah. Anyway, so yeah, thanks for joining us. Buffy Revisited.com. And next week, we're going to be jumping into season 5, episode 13, Blood Ties. Blood Ties.
Yes. What is
I'll also be revisiting Glory's Snatch.
Okay,
no?
if you say so.
No? Okay.
What you want to take a shot in the dark at what Blood Ties is about, Jeremy?
Werewolves.
I don't.
No? No?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Well, someday I'm going to be right. So I'll just keep shooting my shot.
You know what? I don't know that you are. Do we even see werewolves again at all before the?
I don't think so. I think we've seen the end of the Oz arc with what's her face and all that. With that weird female werewolf. I think that was the end of our werewolf. Our werewolf.
I don't think werewolves turn up again until
Angel.
Angel. Like what season 4 of Angel or season 5?
I thought it was 3. Yeah, maybe you're right. 4 or 5. Yeah, but still, someday, James, I will be right.
Someday.
All right. With all that being said, I've been one of your hosts. I'm Jeremy.
I'm your other host, James.
Ta-ta.